So Asperger's is genetic. I just discovered this doing research, and it kind of makes sense because I was thinking about my dad and the similarities that we have. When I was growing up under um, my dad's home, I wanted to be nothing like my dad. He was a perfectionist. He was very strict, and I just didn't understand him. And there were some points where I thought I was adopted. But as I'm approaching 50 myself, my dad's still alive, thank goodness. He's almost 80. I realized that we have a lot in common. And so that perfectionist and that need for him to control is exactly what I have done with my life and with my girlfriends. And the reason why I'm a control freak is because I can't handle change. I can't handle dramatic change. And if I feel like it's out of my control, there's nothing scarier than the sense of being out of control. My dad was a clean freak, and I had to go to bed at a certain time every night. I remember being, 12 to 15 years old, and my bedtime was literally, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., and which was incredibly early. I don't know of anyone else that had a 8 p.m. curfew when they're, 12 years old. So, he wanted me to be in bed at a certain time, and it was just way too early. So I always created games, played games by myself, would create radio shows and sing and close my eyes and visualize being on a boat, going over, capping waves really fast. So I had to basically live with my dad, and we were both the same. So there was a lot of friction. He wanted me to do certain things, and being a boy with Asperger's, I didn't want to do those things. I did not want to do homework. I thought homework was ridiculous. I just wanted to play. I wanted to do repetitive things like just ride my bike in circles in the driveway, all afternoon. So, but he wanted certain things out of me. He wanted me to, follow the rules of the house. He wanted me to do homework. He wanted me to finish all the meat on my plate, even though it was gristle. So we just butted heads. And looking back, I'm the same way. I'm acting more like my dad today than I ever have. There's things that I want or desire that he wants the same thing. And in a weird, twisted way, we have come together in our Asperger's. I can share certain songs with him, from YouTube, and he writes back to me because he lives in Washington State and I live in North Carolina, and he'll write back to me and say, "That was a really good one, son," or "That was a really good one." And it really touches my heart because we butted heads for so long. There was a point from when I was 16 to 18, I didn't speak to him at all. I just said that in another video, that I gave him a silent treatment because all I knew, my only weapon to get anyone back was withholding love. And so I gave him the silent treatment from the age of 16 to 18. And yes, it affected him. My mom came to me and was like, "You're making your father cry. Just talk to him." And I was like, "Nope." But that basically scarred me almost just as much as him, because these last 2 decades, I've been unraveling all the addictions and coping mechanisms and stimming that I've done to, avoid the child in me who's still scared and frightened, because I believe I walked away from my inner child. I walked away from my inner child when I was When I started stimming, rocking back and forth when I was 8, I started to leave my inner child. He was scared and he needed to be comforted and soothed. And so I was like,